Hey guys, welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. I am so excited to show you all of these DIYs that I made using Dollar Tree stickers, rub-on transfers, or laser cuts. This is part of a playlist and I will explain more about that later. If you like crafting, DIYs, dupes, hacks, thrift flips, or just creating in general, I would love if you would consider subscribing because that is exactly what I do on this channel. And if you do like any of the projects you see in today's video, remember to hit that thumbs up. But let's make some DIYs. I have this bucket from Dollar Tree and I think it's darling the way that it is, but when I got home, I realized that the handle was kind of coming off. So I just decided to take them both off because I didn't really know how to fix that really. So I kind of have an idea that I'm going to do for the handles, but first I'm going to take these little stickers that are just like these little raised bead stickers, and I'm going to run them around the top and the bottom. They're super easy to work with and you just kind of get your spacing there. They stick very, very well. So you kind of want to make sure when you stick them down that you know where you're sticking them. So they're a little difficult to kind of pull up once they're down, but you can see how easy they are. And if you have to, once you get to the other end and you need to take some off, you can just kind of pull them and they just rip apart. So fun. And what I'm going to do is we're going to paint over these, and so it will look good, I promise. Now, I think these buckets are so cute the way that they are, but you know, I'm here to kind of give you some inspiration to show you some different ways to decorate things. So I don't want you saying like, oh, the bucket was beautiful before, because I know it was, but this is kind of fun to make it match your decor a little bit more and make it more for you. Now, I'm just using my Crop-A-Dial tool, and I will link that in my description box down below to make those holes just a little bit bigger, because I'm going to use some rope to go through those after I get this all painted. So I just go through and I paint this. I actually did one coat of chalk paint here, and then I actually went out into my garage and spray painted it because those beads are a little difficult to get the chalk paint to stick to. Now, to give it a little detail so you can see that little raised area, I just take some elephant chalk paint, but you could use like mineral, or you could even use antiquing wax, and just lightly go over those beads, and that's just going to make them pop. They kind of blend in if you leave them all white and don't do this step here. It would be fine if you did, but this is the way you definitely notice them. And I like everything weathered and distressed. With what's left in my brush, I kind of just go over the middle portion of this cute little bucket here. I go up and down like the seam and everything, just give it kind of a little bit of an aged look, like it's had a plant in it and it's gotten a little bit dirty. And then I'm just going to tape off the end of my rope. This rope came from Dollar Tree, and I am just going to feed it through and tie it, and then I'll feed the other. You'll kind of see how I'm doing it here, and then just tie it off on both sides, just tying that very tight, and then I pull it against the pail there, the bucket, to make sure that it is tight, and then I will cut off the end. And you can see here that I've got that other side. I just decide my length, I cut it off and tie it, and I'll just do this on both sides to give it something cute, something a little bit different for the handle, especially since I had the broken handle on it. So this part would be completely optional, but I do like how it looks. It gives it a very farmhouse vibe. This plant is from IKEA. They fit perfectly in there. If you want them to sit up just a little bit, you'd put just a couple tumbling tower blocks in the base of it. But I think this turned out so cute, and it's perfect for every day. You could even embellish the front part of this if you wanted to. I kind of like the simplicity of it, leaving it like this. Today's video is part of a monthly challenge that I participate in and host with my good friends Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun and Missy from the Crafty Cove. This month's playlist and challenge has everybody using Dollar Tree stickers, rub-on transfers, laser cuts, anything like that from Dollar Tree to help you get a better idea of how to use those things in your decorating. It is going to be fantastic. There will be a link down in my description box for the playlist. You'll just click on that and it will start playing through everybody's videos. Our spotlight crafter this month is Shannon from Shannon's Crafty DIYs. You guys, Shannon is absolutely amazing. I have done a lot of challenges with Shannon, and she is so creative with the items that she comes up with. You are definitely going to love her. I will also leave a link to her channel down in my description box, as well as the playlist. If you are coming from the playlist and this is your first time here, I would like to say welcome. If you do like any type of DIYs or crafting, I would love if you would consider subscribing. But let's get right back into making some more DIYs. I found these stickers at Dollar Tree, and I think they are so cute, and they have a little three-dimensional look to them. And I have this little frame that I got out of the wedding section at Hobby Lobby. The wedding section, guys, is the most underrated section at your craft store, I swear. I find the best deals there, and I think most people think like, oh, I don't have a wedding, I don't need to shop there. you can find some really good things. So I'm just showing you that instead of sanding that, I could have just placed one of the Dollar Tree cutting boards in the back there, or you can do this directly onto a Dollar Tree cutting board or any frame. And if you want that wood look, use one of those cutting boards or just a plain frame. However you want to do this, it's gonna work, you guys. It's so simple. So my frame was pretty beat up, so I'm just taking some white paint and I'm just going over and just giving it a really good coat. I like this frame because it has a very good texture to it, and I'm going to do a little bit of aging to it once I get these stickers on here. So I'm taking this darling little whale, and then there's these 3 little pieces on the bottom here that have the seahorse, the sand dollar, and the little sea turtle. I place them out first to make sure I like them, and then I'm going to add some glue just to make sure it gives them a little bit of extra stick so they're not going to be peeling off or anything like that. And then centering in that middle sand dollar there, I place that in the center there, and then I go onto the other sides here and place those other 2. And it's just a little bit of hot glue. You could even add some super glue or something. The stickiness on these is really good. That might even just work. But I just wanted to make sure they weren't going to be peeling off because I really wanted this to last. And then I just make sure that they're evened up. I eyeball a lot of things, so if measuring is your jam, you can totally do that. Now on to distressing this frame. I'm taking some antiquing wax. You can use whatever brand, whatever kind you like, and I am just going to use any type of brush really, but I'm using just one of the stencil chip brushes from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to do this in sections. So I'll put it all over this whole side of this frame right here, and then you'll see what I'm going to do. I know distressing is not everybody's favorite thing, so this is completely optional. I'm just showing you if you happen to have like a 3-dimensional frame or just this technique for something you might like to do it on, but I'm just using a baby wipe right here, and I'm just going to wipe the top sections of this off. And so you're going to see it's going to leave quite a bit of that antiquing wax down in the little crevices, and that's what I'm looking for. So you don't want to wipe too much off or press too hard because you don't want it to come out of those little grooves there. And we can go back and brighten up the top portion with a little bit more paint. After I have that section to my desired liking, I just move on to the next section, and I just work in sections so the whole thing, it doesn't start to dry or anything like that. And you just, the same process, you put that wax on there, and then you'll just lightly wipe off over the top and over all those raised areas. It cleans off, and then it leaves all that wax down in the little crevices there. Once I have all of my antiquing wax on, I just lightly get a brush with a little bit more of that white paint on it and just lightly go over the top. It's just going to brighten up all of those raised areas. This also would be optional if you like the way the other way I had before. It almost looks like that pressed tin or something. But I did want to brighten it up a little bit so it didn't look, you can kind of see up close how it ends up looking. But I like how that looks to brighten it up a little bit there. And that's all there is to this. It is really simple. It's just using some stickers and a frame, or you could even, like I said earlier, just do it on a Dollar Tree cutting board. I think it looks super cute. I would love to know your thoughts on this. This is more of a hack than a DIY, but I love this and I feel like it's worth sharing. So I shop Hobby Lobby for their clearance, and I got this sign for like $1.50, I think it says there, which, you know, is 25 cents more than Dollar Tree now. But it's beautiful. It's framed and it's a decent size, and I love it. I'm just taking a little bit of paint to paint over the words on this because I am going to put one of the Dollar Tree wall stickers on here, and I just don't want those words to show through. I did decide as I was doing this that I thought I better color all of the design on the back there or on the sign there so it wouldn't show through. So I do just go over and cover all of that pink ombre that was on there. And then I just dry it with my heat tool, make sure that it is all nice and dry. And then these stickers are 2 parts. So they're like split down the middle. So I just peel the first one off and I center it and kind of eyeball it. I'm big on eyeballing everything, and I just rub it down once I know that I've got it where I need it to be, and then I just match up this other side, and then you'll just kind of make sure that that seam is very close, you know, and matched up there. I even get my brayer out and roll over it that way. I have done this hack so many times, like especially for my kids' rooms, to get, like, they love the stickers at Dollar Tree, and I'm like, I don't love to stick them on my wall. I'm just fixing the back here so that paper lays down flat on the back. But look at how beautiful this is. I mean, it's kind of custom, but Hobby Lobby has some great clearance items, and sometimes they're not necessarily what you would hang in your home, but this way you can definitely customize it. It's so simple and so easy. I went to a different Dollar Tree than I normally go to, and they had these cute little shapes like this. Now this, when it's sitting down, it looks like it's like a jewelry tray or something, but it actually has a little stand on the back that it's like supposed to be like a standing frame type thing. And I thought this was the perfect size to use this little farmhouse wreath from the rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree with. And I have a couple of these left hanging around, and so I thought I would to put the transfer on this. So I just cut that little wreath out, just careful not to disturb any of the rest of the transfer in case I want to use it. I just place it in there just to see if it fits. And then all you do with these rub-on transfers is you just peel the back off, and then you're just going to gently place it down where you want. You don't get many opportunities to like lift it up and place it down, so you want to make sure when you're placing it down you're kind of committed to that area. And then I just use a craft stick and I'm just rubbing all the way around. You just want to make sure that you get all of the areas, the edges really well. Just rub it everywhere and make sure that it's just going to transfer from that piece of plastic onto your design. Now at one point I will go and I will lift this up right here and check, and I can see that it's not quite as rubbed on as I want. So I just go back in, press a little harder, go around it one more time, and then you'll just check it again. And you just want to lightly check it because you don't want to peel it off and have your transfer come back with you. So you just want to make sure that you check it a couple of times before you completely commit to peeling it off. And then when you do peel it off, you're just going to go in a slow motion because you want to make sure that everywhere, because if you get to a point that you're like, oh, that didn't transfer, you can immediately place it back down and rub it off. But look at how cute that looks. I just love this. Super simple and easy, and I think it's darling. I found these little hexagon shapes at Dollar Tree last time I was there, so I picked up a couple of them because I love having them for little projects, for tiered trays, or just to add to your little vignette. They're so easy and so fun to make over. So after removing the tag on the back, I just cover the whole thing in white chalk paint. I'm also going to use one of these little galvanized flowers that you get at the crafter section at Dollar Tree, as well as one of these rub-on transfers of this little wreath. And I wasn't sure how this was going to look on the metal, but I think it turns out really cute. So you just rub that on with like a craft stick or something, and then you just peel that back. And now I'm going to use just one of the tumbling tower blocks to glue that on to give it kind of a 3D push from that hexagon shape. And I felt like it needed something a little extra, so I have these little wooden laser cut birds that also came from Dollar Tree. They come in like a 3-pack or something. So I just use a little hot glue and glue that right onto the wreath there. To give it a little bit of dimension and a little bit of a rustic look, I'm taking just some elephant chalk paint or just a contrasting color and just dry brushing around the edges to give that little bit of more of a rustic touch that I like. I think this turns out super cute, and it is a great way to use those rub-on transfers as well as those little laser cuts. I found this picture on Kirkland's website and I thought it was so cute, and it reminded me of some items that I had. So I have this little white pitcher here that I used to display some flowers in. You can find these very inexpensively at IKEA, Target, Hobby Lobby, anywhere like that. But I have these little rub-on decals from Dollar Tree, and I'm just showing you that I had cut the wreath portion out to do in other DIYs, and I have all of these little remaining leaves and petals or whatever these are right here, these little stems, and I thought I would use these to kind of recreate the look on this picture. So I'm just cutting each of these individually out. Now these rub-on transfers came from Dollar Tree. I know you can get some on Amazon. I'm not sure that I've seen them necessarily in the craft stores. If you have seen them like at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or JoAnns, I would love to know like in what area you found them, because I haven't really had success in finding them there. But I'm starting with the bigger pieces that I have, and I'm just kind of going to lay these down, and then I just take a craft stick or like a popsicle stick type thing, and I'm just going to gently rub on all of the surface area of this, and it is going to transfer this little leaf pattern here onto my picture. These transfer quite easily, and if you ever have an instance where you pull back that layer sheet like I did just there and some of the transfer starts to come off, you just lay it back down and do your little craft stick over the top of it to transfer, and it is quite easy to do, and you can't tell that there was like any type of break or anything in the pattern. So now the process of this is just finding a spot for all of these little transfers here. So I just kind of went around in different areas very randomly and just decided to start sticking some things on here. This was a very, I'll kind of speed this up a little bit here, but it was kind of just a process of turning my picture this way and that way, finding different shapes. I tried to start with the bigger ones and then go to the next size down. But if I ever saw a spot that I'm like, oh, this is a perfect to tuck this little design into, To me, I've had a lot of these rub-on transfers left over for like the last year from using that darling little wreath in the middle of this design. And so I was looking for the perfect project to use all of these little ferns and little branches and everything on, leaves, whatever they are. And this was once I saw this on Kirkland's, I knew that I had to do this and that this was the perfect project to do. And this maybe took like 20 minutes to do. It wasn't a long project at all, and it was super easy, and I think it turns out extremely cute. So here is the original Kirkland's inspiration piece here, and then here is the picture that I recreated. That I created. I love how it turns out. It's going to be perfect to put some florals in, and I think it's going to be the perfect addition to my farmhouse kitchen. On my last trip to Dollar Tree, I found these teeny little clipboards kind of in the frame section, and I thought they were adorable and perfect to make things to go on a tiered tray. So I am just removing the little bow that came on it and this little clip because I didn't necessarily want the clip there. However, I bought a few of these, so I'm pretty sure I can do so many different fun things. So watch for more DIYs using these. But I did just heat it up because that little screw is glued in there as well as screwed in, so that's how I removed that. And I'm taking just this little grapevine wicker wreath that I have. I bought these at Christmas time in a pack of like 6 or 7. I have a ton of them, and I love using them on little projects. So if you ever see a bundle of little wreaths like this at your craft store, grab them because I have used the heck out of these things. I just wrapped some yellow pipberry that I got at Hobby Lobby in a huge roll in the ribbon section around that little wreath to give it some texture and color. And I have these little 3-dimensional laser cut birds from Dollar Tree. They come like 3 or 4 in a pack. So I just picked one of those out, and to have it contrast with the wreath, I just put a little bit of white paint over it, and I just glued the wreath onto that little background, and I glued that bird onto the wreath. And this is so cute and just screams springtime. I hope that next time you're at Dollar Tree and see some stickers, rub-on transfers, or laser cuts or anything like that, that you will know exactly what you want to do with them next time, or at least this gets the juices flowing and you have some great ideas. Remember, the link to the playlist will be down in my description box. And as always, I would like to remind you to be safe, be smart, be nice, be happy, choose to have a good day because you are amazing. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the video that you just saw, here's another one that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and have an amazing day.